got a very simple and straightforward question that I want to pose to you guys, which is, what Chicago Bears player will break out in the 2020 NFL season? What is going on, y'all? Fox Sports Talk back at it with another video talking, of course, some NFL here to talk about the Bears. So if you're a Bears fan, what are you doing? If you haven't subscribed, go ahead and do so. Hit that big red subscribe button down below. Turn on my post notifications because I bring you guys daily videos, and make sure you're following me, guys, on my social media to stay tuned with all of the latest and greatest that I post. And you guys can reach out to me if you guys want on those platforms. With that being said, let's talk about this question and I'll try to answer it. So let me define real quickly what breakout means, okay? What the term breakout is. It's not going to be just a small leap or whatnot. It has to be somebody that absolutely does a lot more than you expected, for one, and number two, a guy who starts to get that attention from not just obviously the local media, but maybe even the national media because of his level of play. So an example last year to me who broke out from the Chicago Bears was Allen Robinson. Now, I know you guys are probably thinking, Faiz, Allen Robinson's already been a stud. He had a 1,400-yard season with the Jacksonville Jaguars. I get that. But I'm talking about just his Bears career last year, or I should say 2 years ago, only had about 750 yards, about that, 55 catches. He goes from that to about 100 catches, so he had like 98, I believe, and almost about 1,100 receiving yards. And you saw Allen Robinson's name kind of get out there, and became, obviously known as one of the most underrated guys in the NFL because of the type of production he put up last year with pretty spotty quarterback play, right? So that, to me, is kind of what I mean by breakout player. So when I take a look at the Bears, there's a few candidates out there, okay, that I thought about. Another guy that a lot of people might have in mind is Anthony Miller, who I expected to make the leap last year. He was very inconsistent. Certainly did better than his first rookie season, but not as great as I would have liked. And I'm not going to go there, okay? And could I go with the rookies, Cole Kmet or Jalen Johnson? Maybe. But if you're a rookie, are you really considered breaking out? Because really you haven't seen much from him, from a rookie. They haven't played. So that crosses them out for me, which leaves me with one guy, and I'm fairly confident about him for this upcoming season, which is, or I should say who is, David Montgomery. If you have not guessed, yes, David Montgomery, the second-year running back for the Chicago Bears. I believe David Montgomery is primed for a breakout season. Now, let's talk about why my pick is David Montgomery. I've got some numbers for you guys, so let's take a look at them, shall we? Okay, here we go. David Montgomery's stats last year, his rookie season, okay? 242 rushing attempts, about 900 rushing yards, and he only averaged a pedestrian, an absolutely underwhelming 3.7 yards per carry. And he also had 6 touchdowns and 2 fumbles, but 3.7 yards per carry, not very good, right? Okay, but he still managed to get about 900 rushing yards. So you take a look at that, and you take a look at, okay, what about the Bears' offensive line last year, which was absolutely atrocious? How were they in terms of run blocking, right? Because you got to be able to block for the running back to be able to hit the holes. And if there's no holes, you're not going to be able to run. The Bears were 30th. They ranked 30th in run blocking last year. The offensive line was abysmal, folks. It was flat out awful. It was worse than the pass protection for sure. I believe the pass protection was about 21st in the NFL. Folks, the Bears could not run block to save their lives. How David Montgomery even got almost 900 rushing yards to me is mind-boggling. Mind-boggling. He made holes and created space where there wasn't any. Okay, David Montgomery does not go down. This guy is an absolute stud. And here's the other thing, okay? The Bears last year didn't even try to run the football. This, even though it seems like a lot of rushing attempts, it was not in the flow of the game. It happened like, when Matt Nagy decided, okay, I want to run now. Let me just run like 3 straight times, and then we'll go back to passing like 10 times, and then we'll go back to running maybe like once, okay? So it was not in the flow of the game. The Bears never really established themselves as a run team, and now when you take a look at this season, what is going to change here? We don't know who the starting quarterback is going to be. It could be Mitchell Trubisky. It could be Nick Foles. Regardless, you know that the Bears know this season they can't rely on quarterback play like they thought they could last season. And so this season, there should be, hopefully, a more of an emphasis on the running game, the running attack. The Bears should become a running football team. And folks, I know a lot of people will say, Faiz, it's a passing league. No, it's not, okay? Technically it is, but when I say no, it's not, I shouldn't say it's not just a passing league. You can win in multiple ways in this league. The Baltimore Ravens last year, they were the best running football team. We saw how far they got. They were one of the best teams in the NFL. I know they have Lamar Jackson, but they also had a plethora of running backs, folks. Here's the thing. When you run the football, you limit mistakes, you tire out the defense, and you are able to protect the football. And so, to me, with the Bears, right now, with the Bears and how good the defense is, they can't afford to make that mistake. Okay, and so David Montgomery, regardless of who's the quarterback under center, needs to be fed the football. All right, we need to put it in David Montgomery's belly about 25, certainly 20 to 25 to 30 times a game. Maybe 30 is a little excessive, but certainly 20 to 25 times a game. I need David Montgomery to get the rock. He only had 200-yard rushing games last season. I expect a lot more. Now, let me give you a great comparison. Okay, you guys are going to be you guys are not ready for this. Okay, remember how I said, what did David Montgomery have right here? 242 rushing attempts. Let me compare him to another guy. Same draft class, so he's going to be a sophomore this year. Last year, he had the same amount of attempts, but instead of 889 rushing yards, he had almost 1,100, almost 1,200 rushing yards, okay? And he did it on about 4.8 yards per carry, and he had 7 touchdowns. Who am I talking about? If you haven't guessed, it's Josh Jacobs. Yes, Josh Jacobs of the Oakland, now Las Vegas Raiders. Now, if I were to tell you Josh Jacobs or David Montgomery, who's the better running back, I don't think it's that big of a difference. Now, obviously, most people will pick Josh Jacobs because he had a better season last year. I get that. But in terms of talent, I don't think it's a big gap in terms of talent. And because I'm saying that, you just take a look at the fact that Josh Jacobs, in the same amount of rushing attempts, was able to get almost 1,200 rushing yards. It was because of what? Obviously, he had better yards per carry, but what was the main difference? The main difference was the fact that the Las Vegas Raiders had the 6th best run blocking offensive line in the NFL. 6th best. You could take the 6th best to the 30th best. That's the difference right there, okay? The Raiders were able to run block for Josh Jacobs. The Bears weren't able to run block for David Montgomery. And if the Bears run block this year for David Montgomery, there is no reason he shouldn't be able to match that production that Josh Jacobs did last year. Folks, 1,000 yards to me is literally the expectation for David Montgomery. If he doesn't crack 1,000 yards, that's a disappointment this season. I'm expecting 1,100 to 1,200 rushing yards. He got 6 touchdowns last year. It was pretty good. I'm expecting, obviously, a little bit more. 7 and 9 touchdowns would be nice. And yards per carry, 3.7 is obviously unacceptable. Certainly should get somewhere around 4.5 to 4.7. He averaged 4.7 in college at Iowa State. And I believe he had 1,200 yards his last season at Iowa State. So David Montgomery, folks, he's a talented guy. I'm telling you, the Bears become a team that runs the football. We're going to win a lot of games. And David Montgomery is a guy that is going to get noticed as one of the best running backs in the NFL. But we got to feed him the football, and we got to do it while establishing the rhythm. It can't just be random. You got to become a team that is strategic in the way you use him, and that is how the Bears succeed. David Montgomery is my breakout player for the Chicago Bears for the 2020 NFL season. Let me know what you guys think. Do you have another player that you expect the Bears to have that breaks out more so than David Montgomery? Again, could be any other options. Let me know what you guys think. Leave a comment down below with your breakout player. Or if you agree with me that is David Montgomery, let me know that as well. If you like this video, folks, please give it a big thumbs up. Please make sure to subscribe as always. Thanks for watching.